Hi guys, this is your science video for today, Tuesday, June 9th. We are on page 341. It says STEM, engineering and technology at the top. Okay. We talked about STEM early in the year. So if you don't remember what it stands for, it's science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Okay, and it's becoming more and more popular field. People study in college and in the science field. Okay, so engineering and technology. This is how we get oil out of the ground. Okay, so it says how it works. Getting to oil. Oil forms deep below the Earth's surface. To get oil, you have to drill a well. Then you need a pump to draw up the oil to the surface. Oil wells are drilled both on land and underwater into the ocean floor. Underwater drilling must be done carefully. Pipes to carry the oil must be in place before the well is drilled, or else the oil will escape into the water. And as I spoke several videos back, I talked about there are oil spills and there are accidents, unfortunately. So this is how it works. It's not that complicated. You have where it says a prime mover. Not exactly sure what that is. Wish they would have explained that better, but I think I pretty much understand how this works. It's a pump jack, so it's like almost as if you're pumping something up and down, you know, like pumping up a tire, inflating a tire. And then you have the pump barrel, which I'm assuming that's where the oil gets extracted from. Okay, so the question on the bottom of page 341 asks, is it more difficult to pump oil from a well on dry land or underwater well? Why? Okay, so we already know, we just read it. Well, it's definitely more difficult to pump it underwater, okay? So what we're going to write is that it is more difficult to pump oil from an underwater well Why? Because they have to place pipes to where the oil is going to travel through. Okay, so they have to go underwater and actually go and install pipes because it has to get to land, obviously. When you're drilling on land, you're just drilling, like they said, you're making a well and you pump the oil out of the land. Okay, water. When you're doing it underwater, you have to worry about spillage, you know, oil leaks, stuff like that. So why is it more difficult? Pipes must be installed. Pipes must be installed, and there is a greater chance for leakage. Okay, long answer, but you could pause the video as long as you want. Okay, so it is more difficult. Let me read it real quick. It is more difficult to pump oil from an underwater well. Pipes must be installed, and there is a greater chance for leakage. Okay. All right. So now we're going to go to page 343. How do people, or essential question for lesson 2 is, how do people conserve resources? So the main idea of this is to use resources, but in a responsible manner, okay? We're going to flip over to page 344. Okay, it says it's cool to conserve right here. Okay. People in the United States throw away millions of tons of trash every year. Landfills are overflowing. What can you do to help keep our earth clean? Using your own bag over and over saves resources and reduces trash. They have a picture of a reusable bag. These are becoming more and more popular when you go grocery shopping. Instead of using paper bags or plastic bags, which, paper bags come from trees, and plastic can be recycled, but it's still wasteful. If you could just reuse a bag over and over again, it's much more efficient. These chairs were made from reused snow skis. So that's kind of an inventive way to reuse things. Well, those skis must have not been good anymore. They said, let's build a chair out of it. Okay, recycling. Then they have a picture, of course, a picture of a recycling bin and all the things that you could recycle. Paper, plastic, glass. Okay, it says, you probably don't think about where trash goes after it's picked up from the curb. The truth is that trash is a big problem in our country. There is too much trash and not enough places to put it. Garbage that is not disposed of properly pollutes natural resources, especially soil and water. So conservation is more important than ever. Conservation is using resources carefully and not wasting them. The 3 R's, reducing, reusing, and recycling, help conserve our natural resources. So reducing meaning reducing the amount of resources we use, reuse the resources, and then of course recycle them. Okay, so go to page 345. To reduce means to use less. When you reduce the amount of waste you make, less of it tends to end up buried in landfills or burned in incinerators. Try using the same cloth shopping bag instead of a new plastic or paper bag every time you go to the grocery store. Use washable rags instead of paper towels to mop up messes. You can reuse an item by turning it into something else. That old tire? It would make a great tree swing. Your brother's old t-shirts? Tear them into strips and use them to wash the car. Reusing takes time and creativity. A recycled product is one made from materials recovered from thrown away items by reprocessing them. Your backpack could be made from recycled bottled plastic bottles. Car bumpers, park benches, and carpeting are just a few of the other products that can be made from recycled materials. So it's a picture at the bottom of the page. It says at a recycling center, discarded items are sorted for reprocessing. They have this big pile of stuff and they got to sort it out. What can they use these materials for? Okay. On page 345, it says, don't throw it away. Could you recycle or reuse the items below? Explain your ideas. Okay, so we have plastic bottle. We have some tissue paper and bags. That's, paper, made out of paper. We have a ribbon here. So explain, think of some ideas of what you could use them for, how you could recycle them or reuse them. Okay, I want you to get creative. Think what you could do with all this stuff. Think of how you could reuse it in a different way. Okay, and that's it for today. Next time we're going to be talking about how we can protect our natural resources, how people farm and use soil for a long time, meaning they keep the soil fresh, they keep it fertile so they could keep growing crops. There's different techniques they use, and we're going to talk about that. So that's what we're going to be doing next time. hope you guys enjoyed watching, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks.